After more than 130 years, did we finally uncover the true identity of Jack the Ripper? New DNA evidence might have cracked the case. But is it really over? Let's dive into one of history's greatest mysteries. In the fall of 1888, London's Whitechapel district was gripped with fear. A series of gruesome murders shocked the city. At least 5 women, known as the Canonical Five, were brutally murdered. But some believe there were even more victims. Despite intense police investigations, the killer was never caught. Over the years, numerous suspects have emerged. But who were they? And why were they suspected? One of the prime suspects was Aaron Kosminski, a Polish barber living in Whitechapel. Witnesses reported seeing a man matching his description near the crime scenes. He was later institutionalized due to severe mental illness, but there was no concrete evidence to arrest him at the time. Then there's Walter Sickert, a famous British painter. Some believe his artwork contains hidden clues about the murders. Crime novelist Patricia Cornwell even funded a DNA study, suggesting that Sickert might have written the infamous Ripper letters. Another shocking theory points to Prince Albert Victor, Queen Victoria's grandson. Some claim he had ties to the victims, and that the royal family covered up his crimes. Montague John Druitt, a barrister and schoolteacher, was another suspect. He disappeared right after the last murder and was later found dead in the Thames River. With so many theories, no one could say for sure until now. For over a century, Jack the Ripper's identity remained a mystery. But in 2019, modern science delivered what seemed like a breakthrough. A blood-stained shawl, supposedly found at the scene of Catherine Eddowes' murder, had been preserved for generations. The fabric was said to contain traces of both blood and semen, potentially the DNA of the killer himself. Dr. Jari Louhilainen, a forensic scientist, conducted an in-depth mitochondrial DNA analysis on the shawl. His results pointed to a shocking conclusion. The DNA belonged to Aaron Kosminski, a Polish barber who had been a prime suspect in the original investigation. Kosminski was known to have a history of mental illness. He was paranoid, delusional, and reportedly had violent tendencies. Witnesses even claimed to have seen him near the crime scenes. However, in 1888, forensic science was too primitive to link him to the murders. With this new DNA evidence, many believed the case was finally closed. Jack the Ripper was Kosminski. Or was he? Not everyone was convinced. Critics pointed out several flaws in the study. First, the shawl's origins were questionable. While some claimed it was found near Catherine Eddowes' body, there was no official police record proving it belonged to her. Second, the DNA testing used mitochondrial DNA, which is passed down through the maternal line. This means the sample could only confirm that the suspect shared a common ancestor with Kosminski. It didn't prove he was the actual killer. Lastly, contamination was a major concern. The shawl had been handled by many people over the decades. Could the DNA have been transferred later, rather than coming from the murderer? Despite these concerns, this was the strongest forensic evidence ever presented in the case. So, does this mean Jack the Ripper's identity is finally revealed? Or will new evidence challenge this conclusion in the future? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below.